One day, you wake up, and nothing is wrong. Your job works, your routine works, your life works. And that's exactly the problem. Because somewhere between stability and safety, you stopped becoming. You're not failing loudly, you're fading quietly. And the most dangerous part? It feels fine. Let me tell you about someone. Mike, 27 years old, stable corporate job, good salary, supportive family. By every external measure, he had it together. But every Sunday night, something crept in. Not anxiety, not sadness, just heaviness. Like a weight he couldn't name. Because Mike once had a different vision of himself. A startup, a YouTube channel, something his. But now, he scrolls, he works, he sleeps, and he whispers to himself, later. 1 year passed, then 2, then 3. Nothing terrible happened, but nothing meaningful happened either. And that's the danger no one warns you about. Comfort doesn't destroy your life dramatically, it just quietly erases the edges of who you could have been. Here's what's actually happening inside your brain. Your amygdala, the part wired for detecting threat, doesn't just react to physical danger, it reacts to social risk too. Rejection, embarrassment, failure. To your nervous system, those feel like survival threats. So your brain does what it's designed to do. It retreats to routine, and routine feels safe, and safe feels correct. But safe is not the same as alive. Because neuroscience shows something remarkable. The brain rewires itself under challenge, new environments, difficult tasks, uncertainty. That's when neuroplasticity increases. In other words, discomfort is the biological signal of expansion. If you feel resistance, you're growing. If you feel nothing, you're just repeating. But here's the deeper truth about Mike. It wasn't laziness that kept him stuck. It was identity protection. To grow, he would have to become someone new, more visible, more exposed, more vulnerable. And that means letting go of who he already was. The reliable employee, the safe son, the responsible one. Growth is not addition, it is subtraction. You don't just gain courage, you lose certainty. And that loss? It feels like dying. That's why most people choose comfort. Not because they lack ambition, but because they fear identity death. One Sunday night, Mike did something small, not dramatic. He didn't quit his job. He didn't make an announcement. He just published one idea online. It got 37 views, no applause, no validation. But something shifted, because he had disrupted the pattern. And disruption builds momentum. Psychology calls this identity-based change. When behavior shifts, self-perception follows. Small, courageous acts compound. Comfort weakens. Agency strengthens. You know what a caterpillar does inside a chrysalis? It doesn't slowly grow wings. It dissolves. Its entire body breaks down into biological chaos before reorganizing into something new. That phase looks like destruction, but it is transformation. Growth feels unstable. Comfort feels steady. But steady water stagnates. Flowing water evolves. So let me ask you something uncomfortable. If nothing in your life changes over the next 5 years, would you feel proud? Or would you start explaining it? Because comfort creates repetition, not transformation. You don't need more motivation, you need friction. The difficult conversation you keep avoiding, the application you haven't sent, the first video you haven't uploaded, the boundary you're too afraid to set. That is where identity changes. Mike didn't become successful overnight. but he stopped fading. And that is the real victory. Comfort is seductive. It hands you a life that is acceptable. But you weren't built for acceptable. You were built for expansion. So ask yourself honestly, are you at peace or are you sedated? Comfort is a beautiful prison, and the door has always been unlocked.